back to my channel. In today's video we'll see how to do the traffic management with Cloud Run. So in this lab we will deploy a Cloud Run service, then assign tags to a revision. Later we will migrate the traffic to this revision and then we'll roll back the revision. So let's go through the overview. Cloud Run allows you to specify which revisions should receive traffic and to specify traffic percentages that are received by a revision. This feature allows you to roll back to a previous revision, gradually roll out a revision and split traffic between multiple revisions. So in this lab we will learn how to use Cloud Run features. So you should be knowing how to use these services Cloud Build and Cloud Run. So this is a situational overview. In this lab we will help the development team at Critter Junction investigate Cloud Run revision. The team would like to explore how revision management can be incorporated into their existing development workflow. So this is the MVP architecture. So this is the proposed solution. So in the proposed solution, the product service is used to demonstrate how traffic migration and revision tagging can be used with the Cloud Run. So Critter Junction as a backend product status service that needs to be integrated with a Cloud Run. So to build an MVP, we need to perform the following activities. We need to configure the environment, test the revision tags, test traffic migration, deploy a public service. So let's start the lab. Activate the Cloud Shell IO. So first we need to set the project. So copy this gcloud config set project. Copy the project ID. And now we have set the project ID. So next, let's proceed with task 1. We need to configure the environment. So Cloud Run requires some environmental settings. In this section, we enable the API and deploy the service. So in this task, we will enable the API and deploy the service. By executing the command gcloud services enable, we are enabling the Cloud Run API. So let's copy this. Execute it here. So now we have enabled the API. Next, we need to set the compute region. We will be executing this command gcloud config set and we will be setting the region to US East 1. So let's copy this. So now we have updated the region. Next, we will create a location environment variable. Cloud Run requires knowledge of the region in which it will be deployed. So that's why we will be creating a location environment variable. So let's copy this. Next, we will deploy the service. The development team needs to configure the product status service. To test the process, the development team decided to look at the deployment patterns for Cloud Run. So development team has already created a container image and we will be making use of this image to deploy the product service. So we need to execute gcloud run deploy product service. This is the service name. We will be using this image. This is a container image and we are tagging it with test1 and the location variable we are passing it here. So let's copy this. So here you can see it's deploying the new service and it's creating a revision and it's routing the traffic to that revision. It is also setting the IAM policy. So once the deployment is complete, you should get this message. See, this product service has been deployed and it is serving 100% of traffic and the service URL is this and the revision can be reached directly at this location. So let's click on this. So this is the Critter Junction status dashboard. Once the deployment is complete, we will add the product status service to an environment variable. So here we are creating an environment variable by the name test1 product service URL. So here we are executing this command gcloud run services describe, and this is the service name we are passing. We are describing this service. The platform is a managed, and the region we need to specify. In this region only we have deployed the service, so we have to specify that. And here it is getting the URL address and it is exporting into a variable. So let's copy this. Let's execute it here. So next we will test if the API is online. So using curl, we are calling this URL. So here we are passing that environment variable name. So let's copy this. So we should get this API microservices. So we should get this output. Next we will test the product status is responding or not. Let's copy this. So here we are getting the revision. It's a revision 1. So here 100% of traffic is being served to the revision test 1, and the service is accessible and set to the default. So this is the version 1. So it's serving 100% traffic to this version. So now we have successfully deployed the Cloud Run service and it is responding to the request. So next we'll see how to utilize the traffic migration to specify which revision receives the traffic. So in task 2 we will be making use of the revision tags. So we can assign each Cloud Run revision a tag. Doing this allows access to a URL without serving traffic. This approach will be useful to handle the traffic profile across multiple revisions. So in this section we will deploy a new revision and learn how to control the traffic to direct to the correct destination. So this is the revised architecture. So under product status page you can find web application R1 revision 1 and web application R2, it means revision 2. Integration testing. So Cloud Run provides the ability to deploy a new revision with redirecting traffic. A deployment of this kind is useful for integration testing of components. So next we will be deploying a new tagged revision by the name test2 with redirection of the traffic. So here we will be executing gcloud run deploy and the service name image will be 002. So previously it was 0.0.1. So when you see this, when we deployed the product service for the first time, we use this image 0.0.1, this container image. Now it is 0.0.2. This is the second revision. And we are passing this no traffic flag. Then we are tagging this with the test2. So we are deploying a service with a new tagged revision test2 and the location we are passing. So that variable we are passing it here. So let's copy this. So now you can see it's creating a revision. So once you deploy the second revision, you see this message. The service product service revision has been deployed and is serving 0% of traffic because we passed that no traffic flag here. That's why it is serving 0% of traffic. So we can access this revision at this URL. Now let's create an environment variable for the new URL. So here we will be creating an environment variable with this name test2 product status URL and we will be setting that URL. So we will fetch that URL and we'll be setting it. So let's copy this. Let's execute it here. Next we will test if the tag revision is able to receive traffic by executing this command. So let's copy this. So as you see here, it is a second revision URL. So we using this new revision, we can independently test the deployment while the original revision still serves 100% of the traffic. So next we will look into revision migration. So now we have two versions available, but only one revision is serving traffic. So now we will alter the deployed revisions to share the traffic profile. So now we will be migrating 50% of the traffic to the revision tag test2. So we right now test2 is not serving any traffic, but now we will be migrating 50% of the traffic to this new revision tag. By executing this command gcloud run services update traffic. So you need to use this update traffic and then the service name, two tags you need to, so you need to specify this flag, two tags, and the tag name. Tag name is test2 and percentage of traffic is 50, that we are specifying it here, and the region. This is important. So let's copy this. So now you can see it is updating the traffic and it is routing traffic. So you should get this message. So this is a URL and 50% traffic is directed to this URL. See this URL, and while 50% is directed to this URL. So next we will confirm the original test endpoint is distributing the traffic by executing this for loop. So here we are passing this variable test1 product service URL. So this contains the first revision URL. So let's copy this. So we could see the traffic pattern is distributed between V2 and V1. So here this is a version 2, this is a version 1. So these are the revision patterns. So we can see that traffic has been distributed between these two. Now we will see how to roll back this tagged revision. The traffic migration can be rolled back by resetting the percentage. Now we'll see how to migrate the distributed traffic back to the test1 service. So we can roll back this by executing this command gcloud run services, and we need to pass this update traffic and the service name and the tags, two tags, to which tag we are setting the traffic. So that one we need to specify, and since we are rolling back the traffic to the test1 service, so this is test2. Before it was serving 50% traffic, so that we will set it to 0. When we set it to 0, it will roll back the traffic to the test1 service, and the region we need to specify. So let's copy this, execute it here. You should get this output. Here you can see the traffic distribution 100%. This is for test 1, for revision 1. 0% for test 2, which is nothing but revision 2. Next we will test the endpoint is distributing traffic to test 1 only by executing this command. Let's copy this. So here you can see this is test1 product service URL, so that we will test it. So by executing this for loop, let's copy this. Now we should get only V1 because we are distributing all traffic to the revision 1. See, we got only V1, which means 100% traffic is distributed to test1 URL. So in this task, a second Cloud Run revision was deployed and used to migrate the traffic. The second revision was labeled with the tag test2 and it was used to migrate a percentage of the traffic determined at the deployment. Now let's proceed with task 3, traffic migration. Migration of traffic provides a simple mechanism on which to direct communication to a deployed service. Cloud Run provides the ability to have multiple revisions to be deployed without a cost penalty. Cloud Run only charges where traffic is handled by the service. So here you can go through the use case for traffic migration. Traffic migration enable traffic to be sent to the latest version of the deployed service. Traffic splitting. This performs a ratio traffic split between defined deployed services. Rollout migration. Deploy a service and gradually enable traffic at a predetermined time. So these are the different use cases where we will be making use of this traffic migration. So this is the revised architecture. Here you see under product status page we have web application R1, R2, R3, R4. So there are multiple revisions. So in this section multiple revisions will be deployed and we will learn how to split traffic to a specific host. So here we will be creating a new tagged revision by the name test3 with redirection of traffic. So here we will execute gcloud run deploy product service and the image will be 0.0.3. So this is the third revision. So we will be using this image and there will be no traffic to this and the tag will be test3. So let's copy this. Let's execute it here. Since we have set no traffic, we are getting this as this service has been deployed and it is serving 0% of traffic. And this revision can be reached directly at this URL. So here you can see the naming test3. So next we will deploy a new tagged revision by the name test4 with redirection of traffic. So here as well we will be using the image, we will be using this container image with this version 0.0.4 and the tag will be test4. So let's copy this. We are creating one more revision. Now this revision is also deployed and it is serving 0% traffic because we have set that no traffic flag there. Next we will list the revisions which are deployed for this service. So by executing this command gcloud run services describe and this is the service name, location, we are passing the region and the format it will fetch all the revision names. Copy this. See by semicolon, so it has listed all these revisions by a semicolon. So this is first revision, this is second revision, the third, and this is fourth. Next we will create an environment variable for the available revision names. So this is the environment variable name. This is a command to fetch that names and update this list. So by executing gcloud run services describe and this is the product service which we deployed and we are fetching the revision names and updating this variable. So let's copy this, execute it here. Next we will split the traffic between the 4 services using the list environment variable. So we'll execute gcloud run services update traffic service name 2 revisions. Here we are passing 2 revisions and we are passing this variable list and the region. So when we pass like this it will split the traffic between all the 4 services available in this list. Copy this. So now you can see how the traffic has been distributed among these services. So each is serving 25% of traffic. Now when we execute this for loop, it should show how the traffic has been distributed between the services. So let's copy this. I will clear the screen. So let's execute it here. So now we should get a V1, V2, V3, V4 all. Let's execute this for loop again. So this is how the traffic gets distributed between different revisions. So now you get this v3, v1, v2, v4. So its traffic is distributed between these services. So let's go back. Next we'll see traffic splitting. We'll update the traffic between the revisions. Next we'll reset the service traffic profile to use the latest deployment. So here we will be passing this -2 latest. So it will use the latest deployment. So let's copy this. So our latest deployment is v4. See, now you can see when we pass this flag to latest, it has distributed the traffic to the latest revision. Our latest revision is test 4. That's why all the 100% traffic has been distributed to test 4 service. You can see 0% traffic being distributed to 1, 2, 3 versions. So next we will create an environment variable for the new URL. So this is the latest product status URL. So we are setting this new URL to this variable. Copy this. Next we will test if the tag revision is able to receive the traffic. So let's copy this. So remember the revision is 4. So we should get this v4 version 4. That's the latest one. So in this lab we learned how to use the Cloud Run traffic management. So in this lab we learned how to deploy Cloud Run service, how to create a revision tagging, and how to split the traffic between the different versions. So once you are done with this lab, you can click on End Lab. If you have any questions or queries or face any issues with respect to any of these tasks in the lab, you can post your comments in the comment section. I will be happy to help. If you found my video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel and stay up to date with the latest content on this channel. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.